Hello everyone, my name is Vanessa Zheng. I'm the founder and mentor for Smart Corporate Stays. So there are two types of property that you buy, you acquire. One type is that it need work doing to it. One type is that you don't need work doing to it. Now, how can you define the one need work doing to it, the one don't need work doing to it? It all depends on what you use it for. Because if you're buying a single let property with no furniture and it look like lettable condition, then you perhaps don't need much work doing to it. And if you are the kind of landlord or property investor, you want it high end, you want everything brand new, then even the house is in lettable condition, for you, in your mind, it still need work doing to it, right? So, but whether or not in someone else's mind that the property in a condition where need work doing or don't need work doing to it, today I wanted to share with you a few tips and process on how to manage a refurbishment project for your letting properties. So your buy-to-let properties, after you got the keys in hand, what would you do? We have a few different stages for managing the refurb. So the stage one is before the work starting. So the before stage could even starting when you do your first viewing before you buy the property, that you make a note about how much you need work doing to it. You have an estimation. Now we have got a viewing fact find checklist that you can look at the condition of the property. You can look at the checklist. You can map out how much it would have cost you to do the work without having to bring a builder in. That's a smarter one, because when I first starting our property, I bring in the builder, ask them to do a valuation for me, give me a quotation, because I don't know enough about how else to do it. End up with being go jumped by some of these people. Now, when you have a checklist, it makes it a lot easier. You can look at the condition of the property, look at how much estimated you could be quoted for, and you can use that even as a negotiation tool with the seller or the agent of how much it potentially can cost you. Before you start the work, you need to know a few things. You need to know about the cost. You need to know about what need doing. You also need to know how long it takes. So before you do any work, my recommendation to you is to take a photos. We call it before and after photo for every property. Keys in hand, first thing, cameras on, go to the property, take loads of photos about everything. Create an inventory list for what's there, what's usable, what's not usable, and create a checklist of what work need doing and potentially what kind of standard you want it to. And that's important because with these, you now can invite quotation. Now, my recommendation is don't do it yourself, because the amount of time it's taken you to do it, you may be able to do another deal. So as a property investor, and you should be a business owner, that you will leverage other people's expertise. Your expertise should be making money from property. So you shouldn't be doing everything yourself. The second stage that you're now doing is that you get quotations and then you get the work starting. We call this is the during like the process, the period of the work carried out. That start from getting the quotation in, comparing the quotation, inviting quotation, compare them, confirm who's doing the work. Then you will start managing the work itself. During this time, you will need to take photo for the work carried out. It is important for you to formally have the agreement with the handyman or the project manager or whoever do the work for you. What are the expectations that you have with what they pricing? Because sometimes if a job takes too long, several months, there's a discrepancy between what you think included in the price, what they think included in price. There were ones that I was doing work with a handyman who quoted a price, even in that contract, writing down they should remove all the rubbish, which they did agree initially. Towards the end, they just leave the rubbish there. They're not willing to pay for the skip. They don't even want it to move it. And we end up with, arguing back and forth about who paid for the script. In the contract, it's them, but they said that we added on afterwards. So you could have stuff like that. And if the work not done properly, then he's responsible to taking the job down to redone it. And if you don't have them agreed, then it could be your responsibility because it's your house, only you care. It is important that in the during process that you have document the work in process, and you could also, use it as a good social media tool if you do project management for other people, like other investors. So now the third stage is obviously the completion. Now with the completion, you got also before and after. So before completion, you need to inspect the property because we have something called snacking list. That you inspect the property, you will find that there is bits of this work not done properly. For example, like in a house, if it's quoted that the curtain should be on, so the curtain is on, but the curtain is not on. Like the curtain rail is on, but the curtain is not put on. Stuff like that. It's quite easy to miss because they're not like an important thing. For some of the contractors, it's not finishing. For you, it's not finishing. For them, it's finishing. Their idea of finishing project will be the wall is paint, the door is glass. That's it. So the house is ready. But when you walked in, you realize actually it's not ready because the handle is not on the door. And then they would say, okay, but you didn't provide a handle. And then you would assuming that that's included in the price. Just some stupid example like that, yeah? So snacking list means that you walk in a property from then, you will make a note about, okay, this need doing, that also need doing, and that also need doing, so that they can finish it off like a house ready to move in, not like a project that still need another handyman to go in to finish it off completely. So inspect the property to the level where it should work well. If there is any problem, then you make a list of how they should be finishing so that they're not going to just finishing and run away. And when you need to call them back after you pay them, they said you have to pay me to come back again to fix this, that's one problem. Then the second thing is after completion, because until your tenant move in, you don't know that the shower they fit working or not. There is some handyman, they're not very good. They get the cold and the hot water mixture wrong way around. So although it still works, but it doesn't work properly. And the lighting in the hallway could be these lights, this control to one light instead of three lights. You probably understand what I mean. Basically, it's something not quite right we're looking at here. So although you inspect the property looks fine, but the actual function of what it should be is not. Then it's the after completion, is that you got to have a cooling period, like a using period, because your tenant not moving in until a week or 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. But then if they complain after they move in, who's responsible? That should be. So it will be them responsible. You need to create that period where after they complete it, to how long that guarantee work for, as long as they're the first person who doing the work. It's not that it's using it as working fine, but then several months later, the tenant's having problem. So as long as it is within their guarantee service period, then they are still responsible getting it fixed if they've done it wrong. But obviously, until you move in, sometimes you don't know if it's leaking. It could be leaking, it could be shower doesn't work, it could be that, the hot and the cold feet are in the wrong place, and whatever happening. And sometimes it need the whole system, the whole central heating system need breathing in order to warm up. And if you've got a situation like this and you can't check it until someone actually uses it, I'm not saying you should move in and leave there for a week and find out, but you've got to have agreement with the people who do the work that they are responsible to come back and fix it without paying extra. So I hope that helps. So 3 stages before the work starting. You need to find out how much it costs, what need doing, and how long it takes. Then you will invite quotation, or if you've got someone you already know, in terms of, when can they start, how much it would cost, and what they expect to get done and to what standard. Then you will need to also negotiating terms about how you pay them. Do you pay any money upfront, stage payment, or completion? My recommendation is don't pay nothing upfront, because if you do pay someone upfront, you don't know them well. They just take the money, not coming back to even start any work. So you need to make sure that you pay them the way that you feel safe enough that you got more control. Then the stage 3 is completion stage. With the completion stage, the work is finished. You got the inspection of the work finishing, and also the service level, where how long should it be until your tenant move in, and after tenant move in, if there's any problem during the time, and whose responsibility and how it would be costing. And I would recommend that you have a service agreement with them, that it should be free if it's their responsibility. And for a short period of time, could be 3 months or 6 months, then they should be coming back and get it fixed if it's not done right. So I hope you found it useful. And if this is your first project, I hope that you have some insight about some of the mistakes that I made. And you can only learn so much. And if it costs you more money making the mistake, then it's cheaper to hire a mentor who already been there, done it, and make a lot of mistakes, hopefully, to avoid, so you can avoid it instead of you having to make the same mistake again. And if you like this video, let me know. And if you've got other questions you wanted to find out, please let me know as well. I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you very much for watching.